Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Bruce.
I'm Megan.
And on today's adventure, we're super excited to bring you on this adventure to Nocturne Adventures.
Hey everyone, so today we are doing an interview with the brains behind one of the coolest escape rooms that I have ever done. So I'm very excited for you guys to get to meet them through us and get to hang out and talk to them. So go ahead and let you guys introduce yourselves.
I'm Nicole Watson, and I used to be a funeral director and embalmer for 10 years. And it's macabre on its own, some would say. But growing up, my family, very festive, and so of course, being that my favorite holiday was Halloween, we always went to town, putting up a haunted house, and it grew to a point where we were building 1,100 square feet on the lawn of a walk-through haunt. We would start months ahead of time just to be open for 4 hours on Halloween night. So it was definitely a labor of love. And of course, when escape rooms became a thing, we were always into the horror escape rooms, and Tom also joined us in our haunts.
Yeah, when we met, I just kind of like fell into it. Like, oh, you guys do haunts? I'm into this. Let's go. Yeah, but before I met Nicole, I was in the game industry. So I worked at Blizzard Entertainment. I worked on the World of Warcraft QA team. So I did a lot of game work, testing and playing, and so very much a nerd in that regard. So I always gravitated towards the macabre stuff, the gothic things. I played a lot of the old, like Castlevania, Resident Evil, that kind of stuff. So I feel like that stuff, being in that environment, helped me better prepare and like design for the escape room process, because there's a lot of puzzle heavy elements that I think go really well together with that. So
That's awesome, and I'm sure that's like really helped to make the flow of the game work because of how video games have to flow together.
Sure.
And that's exactly how we work well together, because I might be focused on the micro aspects of the game or logistics on puzzles, and he can look at the bigger picture and determine flow and figure out, like, you know what, no, this should happen first, then that, then this comes in. And I think that we mesh really well creatively.
She micromanages the puzzles and like she said, the logistics, the getting, how is this puzzle going to work, the mechanics of it.
Yeah.
I'm all about the theatrics and the lighting and the sound and the flow and the experience. Like, how is it going to feel when it flows together?
Yeah.
And she does the nitty gritty in between, making sure that they all connect well together. So we're like the perfect team. We work well together, designing everything. It just comes so naturally to us.
When everything's fused and you get to see the whole production and be a part of it, and in the escape room, I think if it evokes an emotion, then you've done it right. Your success, whatever the emotion is. I mean, some people are giggling in Ripper because they're so scared, and some people are screaming. So
Yeah, that was me. I was laughing hysterically.
right.
Some people are cowering in the corner the whole time and hiding, and they won't come out. Yeah.
Right. Whatever happens, we know we've done a good job if we're evoking some sort of emotion.
Yeah, that's awesome. So who's more inclined with the aesthetic of like putting together the whole visual aspect?
So we're both equal on that. Like, when it comes, you mean like doing the paint and like putting like all the finishing touches on it. Yeah, we're both, I'd say, equal on that part. Like, we both enjoy doing that. I'd say we call it the workshop. One of the rooms in Ripper has a ton of blood and guts and everything. I'd say that was the most fun part for me, was putting on a bunch of trash bags and putting gloves and a mask on and just flinging perma blood everywhere, all over the walls.
Yeah, going, man, I don't know how we would ever get this off if we moved, but we're doing it.
Just leave it.
Yeah.
Be a nice little surprise for whoever passes it out.
It's a lot of fun when we're cleaning up and I'm mopping the blood on the floor and polishing it and making sure it's nice and clean.
Well, when we were first doing that room too, we first had to build the room up, paint it nice, white and clean, and then dirty it up. It was we had all the fake mold and the blood, and it was like, it looked so pretty, but let's make it nasty now, you know?
That's awesome. I love it. And I love that you guys are just a great husband and wife team and like really making everything flow and work together. I think that's really awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have fun with it.
It's a labor of love.
Yes.
So what made you guys decide to open your own escape room?
Well, I think when we started playing escape rooms, so when they became a thing, we, being horror lovers, we always gravitated to playing the scary escape rooms, but found that they weren't always as scary as they promised. And then coming from a haunt background, we saw a lot of opportunity that seemed to be missed. So we always kind of fantasized, oh, if we do one, we would do this and that and have this. And so it hit a point where we're like, you know what, let's make it. I think we could make something really special and different and intense. Yeah. And I'm very happy, very proud of Ripper.
I think it was our second escape room we ever played that had a horror theme. It was meant to be spooky, and we went and played that, and we had no idea it had a live actor in it. And when that guy jumped out and scared us, that's when the light bulb came on, right? It was like, oh, it's like a haunt, but we're doing puzzles. I was like, wait a minute, we already do the scary stuff. Like, we can do this. That's I think, the moment that triggered in our heads where we were like, yeah, this has got to be a thing, because that was amazing. That's really what triggered it.
This escape room was the first one that we've ever done that had a live actor. So that was a really cool surprise for us. And it's like, oh, wow. So, like, this is intense. Like, you're in it.
Right. The immersion is real, right? We want to make it feel like you walk through a portal, you know?
Yeah.
You come from the outside and you're like, okay, you forget what you're doing, and it's that immersive to the point where it feels real, even though it's still a game. But that's where we took that inspiration. Yeah,
because it leveled up the gameplay. So instead of it just being like, okay, we're going to solve these puzzles and get out of this room, it was like, oh, we got to escape. Like, we've got to get out of here.
It definitely adds a sense of urgency.
Yeah, for sure. So what was your inspiration for the Ripper?
Oh, yeah. So the Ripper... All right. So I've always kind of had a fascination with history. I actually have a degree in history.
Oh, wow.
And, but I remember in high school, I read my first book on Jack the Ripper, the real killer from Whitechapel in London. And I was just fascinated with it. I think it's the mystery of it, because he was never officially caught. Nobody really knows who he was. There's all kinds of forensics and stuff now that people think they knew who it was, but I still feel like there's that mythology behind it almost, or it's the mystery. And I feel like that's what kind of led us to kind of go with that theme. I mean, it's not a Jack the Ripper theme. It's more of like the killer in Ripper is almost like a copycat.
Yeah.
He has an admiration for the Jack the Ripper. So we have a lot of Easter eggs and historical accuracies of information and stuff in the game that if you know your Ripper history, you might see it and go, oh, hey, that's cool. But it's not necessary for the game.
Yeah.
But we do it as kind of an homage or something, if you will. But I don't know. It just seemed like it fit right. It just had that vibe that we wanted to go with. You know, kind of slasher horror, but still kind of like dark on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like for me, I'm a true crime junkie. It was really cool to see those aspects of an actual real case being brought into the gameplay, even though it wasn't like, oh, you're going to solve the mystery. It was like, okay, so this nice little nod towards an actual true crime that has happened in with what's going on with the game. So that was very cool for us.
And I think that adds to the realism too, because you're basing it off of actual historical events. Yeah. And so you're not just necessarily making up a new serial killer or generalizing. You're pulling from actual history, and that kind of adds to the level of immersion.
Which the realism to it was very cool, because a lot of actual serial killers will be copycat killers and take inspiration from someone else. So that was a really nice segue into the gameplay and like adding in that level of realism. What are your do your neighbors think of you guys having an escape room?
They actually love it. They've all played it. Pretty much everyone in the neighborhood knows. They've even when we were about to open and we needed beta testers, we invited them to come over, and then their families would play, and they love it. Sometimes when people would go running out the lobby scared and our neighbors are outside, they're laughing at them, waving at them. So it's a lot of fun. We're very, very fortunate to be in such an awesome neighborhood surrounded by such cool neighbors.
That's awesome.
Luckily, the basement is pretty soundproof, but when they hear the screaming going on, they know it's like, oh, it's just Nicole and Tom. They're just scaring people. So,
It's fine.
yeah, it's fine. They're good.
So do you guys, I know you've added in a couple different options to the current game. Do you think you'll ever redo the game, like change things up?
I think as far as Ripper goes, that's definitely always going to be our baby. The theme, I think, will always stick. We have, since we've opened, made constant amount of changes, upgrades, refurbs, improvements, and I think it will always continue because we want to keep everything fresh. And if we have a new idea, we think we can better something, make it scarier, make it cooler, and make it spookier, then we'll go ahead and do it. But I don't think Ripper will ever change its theme. It's just a little too unique and very close to our heart. It's our baby. So.
Yeah, we the game was originally designed as the R-rated experience. It was just Ripper. It was it. That was it. It was one and done there. And we have since added those other options. We added a super scary version, and then a PG-13, and then a non-scare option to kind of broaden our audience, and for just to have the option, for people who want to play a certain way. And we're happy to do that. It's, we just want people to have fun. That's the whole point, right? So if you want to play it with no Ripper, no scares, cool. At least you can still do the puzzles, see the sets, enjoy the atmosphere. And for those who are brave, you want that super scary version. We cover both ends of the spectrum, so.
I'm excited for the super scary version because we played the R-rated version and that was terrifying. I felt like I was in a horror movie. But I'm all about pushing that limit, and so I'm excited to get to try out the super scary version.
For sure.
It's definitely a much more up close and personal interaction with Ripper. But it's nice to have the 4 different options, and I think that's cool because you can kind of play it how you want to play it.
Yeah. And
not a lot of escape rooms do that. It's just one way, and that's it.
Yeah.
So we're happy to be able to tweak things and cater to everybody's personal, preferences. And even when we open up our next game, we're going to have 2 options there as well.
Okay.
So you can keep it personalized.
That's awesome. It's for me, I'm all for the scarier the better, but if we wanted to take our daughter, I would not. She would not do well with the R-rated. We'd have to really drop it down.
Oh, I got
And that's why we offer that stuff, right? It's to allow everybody to enjoy it. Yeah.
And we've had games that were scary games, and we've had to stop scaring altogether in order to get them to finish because they all came out of the game going, "We're done. We can't do this." So we just had to stop scaring in order to get them to finish. But we want everyone to enjoy themselves. They came here. It's entertainment. It's a lot of fun. You still enjoy the horror atmosphere, even without the scares. But we do love a good scary game of Ripper.
Yeah, that's the fun for me, for sure.
So what's next for Nocturne?
Next would be our second game. We're working on our game called Nevermore. It will be our interpretation of Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven.
Oh,
it will
love
be
that idea.
a little mysterious, a little intriguing, and have we'll say a slightly creepier, spooky option if you want to go that route. But it'll be hopefully attractive to more broader audiences. It won't be as intensely scary as Ripper. And I think it's something that isn't really touched on very much. We try to think of more unique themes, something that you don't see.
Well, I mean, to be fair, also our whole business model, our name Nocturne with the raven and the moon logo, was very heavily inspired by Edgar Allan Poe in that poem. So it's kind of like our basis, like the foundation of our design, if you will, our vision.
Yeah.
So it's kind of only natural that we're gonna do a game based around that theme. So I feel like that's gonna be our next baby, right? Our next child. So
That is really exciting. I absolutely love Edgar Allan Poe, and especially The Raven, so I cannot wait for that one.
and that game will have also a live actor in it as well. So we're planning on having, again, like she said, like a spooky option where you'll have kind of a darker interpretation of the poem, and then your standard one, maybe a little more somber, if you will, but it'll still be fun.
That's so cool. I cannot wait to get to do that one.
Cool.
I'm excited.
So where can people find information about you guys?
Best place is head to our website, NocturneAdventures.com. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and all, of course, the social media and review sites, Google, Yelp, Morty, and all our info is on there. You can book, you can choose which version of Ripper you want, you can figure out all the ins and outs, all the differences for each game to determine which one's the best for you. Book. All of our games are private, so you're never booked with strangers, and that's a lot of fun because you want to make sure you're with your family when you're getting murdered.
Yeah, I like that option because I'm very picky about who I bring with me to solve puzzles because I gotta make sure that they can solve the puzzles. So I like that it's a private game and you know who you're gonna be trapped in the room with.
Absolutely.
That's more of a personal thing for us too. We've played many escape rooms in the past that had public bookings, and we never had the best experience with it just because you're with strangers and you don't know how people think or how they're going to react. So escape rooms are more fun when they're private. I truly feel that. So we keep it that way for sure.
You also don't have like two different groups trying to compete against each other in that case.
Right. You don't need a bunch of alphas trying to pocket clues.
Butt heads, yeah.
Or kids sticking stuff in their mouth and hiding it.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for sitting down and talking to us.
Absolutely.
We are so excited to show everyone your escape room. Like, we had so much fun when we were here. We could not wait to tell everyone about it. Personally, I have been trying to drag some of my coworkers in here because I think it would be hilarious to have a group of full-grown men getting terrified.
Happy to have you.
We love it. We love to terrify anyone you like to bring.
Right. So thank you guys so much, and we are super excited to show you guys just a little sneak peek of the haunt in the escape room because I do not want to give anything away. I want you all to come here and experience it for yourself and get just as scared as I was. And let me tell you, there were some moments I was like, I might die in here. Okay guys, so that was us from Nocturne Adventures with the Ripper Escape Room here in Hickory, North Carolina. Needless to say, it's terrifying. But good news is, if you do not want to be that scared, they have a non-scare option, so you can just come do the puzzles and get the feel of it. They also have a PG-13 version, so you can bring the kids and they can get a little scared, but not, absolutely terrified. And then they have rated R, which is what we've done, and it's terrifying. And then they have the super scary, which we've not done yet, and I cannot wait to do that one because I'm a glutton for punishment, and why not absolutely be terrified?
Yeah, and Tom and Nicole that run this place are awesome people. This is a hidden gem, okay? If you like escape rooms and you love puzzles, you love horror, you cannot go wrong. Guys, we have told everyone that we have come across that loves escape rooms to come here. You've got to come here and play.
And if you are like me and want to celebrate Halloween all year round, but society's not really on board with it, you can come here and get your horrors.
Right. So make sure that you look them up. They have a website. They're on Facebook. They're on Instagram, TikTok.
And we'll link the website in the show notes.
Yeah, they'll be down below. So thank you guys for joining us on this adventure. Remember to give us a like, share, and subscribe to our channel because you never know where we're going to be next. And hopefully we're coming back to do the super scary mode and we'll be able to give you
Really
an
soon.
update. But until we see you on the next adventure,